In our previous video, we talked about what the regular endings for preterite verbs were and how to conjugate verbs in the preterite. And you were instructed to fill out these 10 questions utilizing the regular preterite. If you have not done that yet, pause this video and try these on your own, and then we're going to go over these in the rest of the video. Number 1 is I danced. Now remember, your subject pronouns are optional because based on the conjugation of the verb, you're going to be able to tell what box it came out of. But for the purpose of clarification, we are going to go ahead and use our subject pronouns. So I is yo, and then we know danced comes from our infinitive bailar. So we start with the infinitive bailar, then we drop the ending. So I'm B-A-I-L. And since it's first person singular, and we really have to pay attention to this ending, it's an AR ending, we know that our first person singular AR ending is the letter E with the accent. Yo bailé. Yo bailé. You familiar ate fruit. It's important to take a look at this familiar right here. Familiar means that it's informal and that we're going to be using the to subject. Comer is our infinitive. It's an ER verb. The stem of it is the letters C-O-M. And then for ER verbs, our second person singular ending is the letters I-S-T-E. So we have tu comiste, tu comiste. And then we can add our word fruta there to finish the sentence for you ate fruit. He answered the question. So we know our subject of he is L, and that's that E with the accent mark, or it means the. And then to answer is contestar. So this is where it's really important that we're studying, learning, memorizing those infinitives, because we can start using these in any of the sentences. All right, once we dropped our AR, we're left with contest. And then we know that it's an AR verb, so it's aste o with the accent. Él contestó la pregunta. All right, our next one is we talked. So we're hopping over to the plural side. It does not specify if the we is masculine or feminine, so either would be right, but we're just going to go ahead and use nosotros. Nosotros, and then we know that hablar is our infinitive. Step 1, start with the infinitive. Step 2, drop the ending, so we're left with habl. And this is the one that's going to be the same. We talk or we talked. So we'd have to look at context clues because we're going to end with nosotros hablamos. The next one, you all, Spain, sang. So the you all in Spain is going to be vosotros. Once again, it doesn't specify if it's vosotros or vosotras, so either would be acceptable. To sing, our infinitive is cantar, and then that's our step 1. Our step 2, we're going to drop the ending, and we're going to be left with C-A-N-T, and then because it's an AR verb, we're going to do our second person plural ending, and we have vosotros cantasteis. Vosotros cantasteis. And then you can add extra things in if you wanted to say la canción, vosotros cantasteis la canción, or something like that. The next one is they learned. The they, once again, doesn't specify if it's masculine or feminine, so we're just going to go with ellos, knowing full well that ellas would also be acceptable. Our infinitive is aprender, for to learn. It's an ER verb, so we're using our ER, IR endings. Our stem is aprend, and then we have to add our ending for ER and IR verbs, so it's aprendieron, aprendieron. And then you can add more to make it a more complete sentence, but ellos aprendieron is your sentence for they learned. The next one is she climbed the ladder. So once again, remember our subject pronouns are optional, but we're going to start with ella, and then our infinitive over here is subir. Subir is an IR verb, so we're going to use our ER, IR endings, and then start with our stem, SUB, and then because it's ella, third person singular, it's subió. subió, and then the word for ladder is escalera. Ella subió la escalera. Número 8, we ran. Once again, it doesn't specify if it's masculine or feminine. This time we'll just use nosotras, nosotras. And then our infinitive for to run is correr. Our stem is going to be that C-O-R-R because we just dropped the E-R. And then it's going to be corrimos. So notice that it's the I-M-O-S. So this is not the same in the first person plural present tense because it's an ER verb. I passed the book. So once again, our subject is going to be yo. Our infinitive over here is pasar, and you don't have to write the infinitives over to the right if you know all of them, but sometimes it's easier if you can identify the infinitive first. Yo, and then my stem is P-A-S, and because it's an AR verb, it's going to be that E with the accent mark. Yo pasé, and then I'm going to say el libro. And you can put any kind of words you want. Once you start memorizing these conjugations, things get a lot easier and you can combine vocabulary that we've previously learned. All right, the last one, number 10, they danced. In this case, I'm going to use ellas because it doesn't specify if it's ellos or ellas, so either is acceptable. Bailar is our infinitive. I'm going to drop that ending, and I'm going to be left with B-A-I-L. And then because it's an AR verb, it's going to end in eron. Ellos bailaran. Ellos bailaran. All right, feel free to pause the screen here if you need more time to compare. But this concludes video number 2, utilizing the present or the regular preterite tense.